Hey guys, it's been like 2 weeks since I've been out to the hangar. I had to go to Texas and I went in my RV. Okay, this RV, not the one I'm actually building. Um, I wish it were this one. Unfortunately, this one's still in pieces, and so I still have to work on it and get it fixed. Now, if I sound sick, it's because I'm sick. I don't know what it is, but it seems like every time I go back to Texas, I don't know if it's the allergies or just all the people or just that I'm not, acclimated to the area or what it is, but I always come back just miserable. So I'm miserable, but I'm still going to get after it. Gonna work on all the things. I've got lots more rivets to run on the front of this. And then once that's done, I believe the next step is actually affixing this to the front of the main wing that I've been working on, which is really exciting. So that's it. That's what I'm going to be working on. It's been 2 weeks, been a while since I've been out here, so it's a beautiful Sunday outside. I thought I'd give it a go for a couple hours.
So here you're going to watch me do a little bit of riveting there on this forward wing part. Really easy. You have to be careful, of course, because it is a rounded area, and most of your bucking bars are square and flat. You don't want to round a flat part into that, or rather buck a flat part into that nicely rounded, smooth skin. So take your time. Go easy. You'll see I'm going up and down on the ladder, and that I'm reaching deep down inside there, and I'll show you what that looks like from the inside. Now, I know you're thinking, boy, this is going to be exciting from the inside. No, not really. The camera wasn't really well positioned. My hand kind of blocks all the action. It's exactly what you think's going on. I'm holding the like 2.5-pound titanium bucking bar against each rivet, giving a little burp with the rivet gun, and bucking those rivets in place. There's a lot of rivets, and you're going to do this a lot. It's inconvenient, because you got to reach way down in there. And I'll be honest with you, you get some kind of pinch cuts, for the lack of a better term, from mashing your arm down onto the aluminum, that sharp aluminum edge. Even though it's not very sharp, it's just it's a hard, narrow edge, and so you kind of get little bruises. And I've got bruises all over my arms. You'll sweat, bleed, and bruise yourself for this plane, so just prepare for that when you embark on this journey. And as with all things, once you're done with one side, you gotta flip it around and work on the other. Yay. And if you're getting up in years, after a while, climbing up and down on that ladder starts to wear on your knees. Now, admittedly, part of that is because I'm fat and I'm lugging around a whole bunch of extra weight, but still, I don't want to think that that's the only reason. I think some of it is just because, I was in the military, and that'll age your joints in dog years. But these are the last row of rivets that I'm doing on this side, and then this will be done. Time to move on to the next bit. And the next bit is going to be mounting it up underneath the wing that we had already worked on. You can see here in this image, this is what that will look like once it's all mounted and hanging there. I will say preparation is really, really important. I was kind of not prepared. I think that something that a couple of the other builders said to me is that preparation is the key to success when it comes to building this aircraft. And I think up to now I've been prepared for most things, but I wasn't really ready for this. And so this is a little kludgy how I'm putting it together, in that I'm basically hanging the wing off the end of my table, bolting it down, for the lack of a better description, using some boards and weights and some clamps to make sure it doesn't move. And then I just hang it underneath, as you would expect, but really kind of unwieldy, because I need to be able to get around and maneuver and move this wing once it's finished, for the lack of a better term. And I really can't do that if half of it hangs on the table and half of it can't touch the floor, because it's a rounded front. So I have to solve that. And I've got a jig that I have started to build that will solve that for me. And I'll show that in a later video. But basically, it is a system where I have a strap at one end that holds it up and then the other end is actually bolted to a moving frame, if you will, that I can roll around in the shop and stow it in the corner, because real soon I'm going to get to the point where this wing is done. Not there yet, but that time is coming. The next thing that really surprised me was how this thing attaches to the main wing spar. It's not a lot of rivets, and a lot of those are actually pop rivets. It's also really tight. So if you look in here, you can see that there's not a lot of room to work. It's kind of awkward. Each rib has like 8 holes that attaches it to the main spar, and you can see right here, it's kind of tight up against the rib. There's not a lot of room. And what an astute observer will see is there's no way to get in there because, well, it's solid. So you can only stick your arm so far in. That means a lot of these are actually pop rivets. Pretty much all of these, except for these down here on the end, right here, and possibly these right here. But definitely those, and those are going to be pop rivets for sure. My goal at the time of filming this was to make these 2 rows, these 474-3s or 4s, whatever it is right there, and be able to reach in through this hole, which honestly is plenty of room, but it's just a little awkward to have to reach all the way in there and then reach around the other area with the rivet gun and do the bucking by yourself. But hey, it's looking like a wing. First thing I have to go through is use the really long drill bit and drill a lot of those holes. But once I get those done, I pull out ye old pop rivet gun and get after it and start the pop riveting. I thought about getting a pneumatic one. I just haven't done it yet. Maybe one of these days. I mean, honestly, you don't need it. It's not, I don't know. This one still works just fine, so it's hard to warrant buying that. Sorry for blocking the camera, by the way. But then I run some of those rivets, and this rivet gun, when I do this, sounds a lot like a machine gun, but it comes out pretty nice. And then I have to kind of stick the camera in that hole, and then like watch the video on this little 1" by 1" screen to see if the rivet set correctly, and in this case it didn't. So that was fun. But in the end, I went through and added the various pop rivets and not pop rivets, as the case may be. I did add more pop rivets than not, just because it got really awkward trying to reach up in there. And the instructions actually said that's perfectly okay. So anyways, guys, that'll cut this one short, and I'll have another one of these here in a day or two. Thanks for watching.